It's a thing you can see. It's an actualization. And we are so much lost in our own imaginations, in our own hallucinations and misguidance, that we cannot believe that there could be something factual about God. But if God is a fact, then even this happening has to happen within us, otherwise He doesn't exist. If somebody is an atheist, it's better in a way, because he has not accepted anything blindfolded. But if somebody has accepted God with an open mind and has not followed some conjectures, is even better. But if you follow any conjecture like that there must be God. Some people told me, yes, Mother, God helps me a lot. I said, really? How does He help you? So the lady tells me, I got up in the morning and I prayed to God, oh God, look after my son. That's all she could think of. That God should be only busy looking after her son. He has no other job. So then what happened? Then my son was coming by plane, and there was some trouble in the plane, but he was saved. God helped me there. There is God. But if something had happened to the boy, then what she would have said, I don't know. So to say that you are getting help from God, that God has helped you this way and that way, is too much to assume, I think. God does look after all of us. His compassion, His love, He has created us, He has made a beautiful human being out of us. Within us He has placed all these centers, He has placed the Kundalini within us, and the Kundalini has to rise, you have to get realization. All that is so. No doubt. All this has to work out. That's also the truth is. But still, one must know that He is not in your hand, you are in His hand. There are many people who pray to God, give me promotion. Oh God, you have to give me promotion. And then if He doesn't give this, God is not helpful to me. Why has He not given me promotion? You should not cheapen God like that. God is the one who is almighty, who has created all this universe. He has created you, and He has created you for a purpose. And that purpose is something supreme. That's not ordinary purpose. The way you think Him to be, He is not an ordinary person. He is supreme. And He will give you something that is supreme. Supposing you go to see some king, He will not give you 1 peak, will He? He may give you a diamond. But if you want to ask anything from God, then you must ask for the supreme. Now what is the supreme? The supreme is to know Him. Unless and until you know yourself, you are not going to know Him. He has placed within you that instrument by which you first know yourself. Once you know yourself, through yourself you know Him. But the first important thing is that your attention has to be on Him. There's a very different thing to have attention on God and to have a blind faith in God. These two things are absolutely far apart. To have faith in God means, I have already told you, all the silly things we do in the name of faith. But to have your attention on God is to ask, when am I going to be myself? When are you going to accept me as a citizen of your kingdom? When are you going to use me as your instrument, O Lord? This should be your attention. If your attention is like that, and if you are really of pure nature about it, it will work out. It works out. This is the only thing that is needed in Sahaja Yoga, is a clean heart. To ask for it, to desire for it. Those who have been ardently asking for it, they might have been misguided, gone to wrong paths, they have done mistakes, they might have committed sins, whatever it is. But in the name of God, in the search of God, if they have been earnest, they have been granted realization. They will get realization, no doubt about it. Even otherwise you will get realization. Is the grace so overflowing these days? Even the worst sinners can get realization. But how to retain it and how to ascend is then your responsibility. So this is for the newcomers today, because to go into all the chakras and all the centers is going to be too much. These people have already printed about all these things. But today, as there are more Sahaja Yogis here, I have to tell something important about their becoming. Already I have spoken to you about becoming. But today we have to understand one thing, that the essence is within us. For example, innocence is absolutely pure. Within us it is absolutely pure. In its own form it is absolutely pure. But when it is reflected through our medium, it gets soiled. The way you are, the way you express it, it gets spoiled. If you are a cunning person, the innocence cannot be manifested. It cannot be manifested. Your innocence, whatever God has placed within you, is completely darkened because you cannot reflect it back. There is no manifestation about it. Why it happens? If you are pure, if you are all right, the innocence is all right, then why it is not manifested through you? Why this cunningness can stop that innocence? Or any other essences that are within you, which you know, which exist on different chakras. We must think about it, why it happens. That even after realization, we cannot properly manifest our innocence, our primordial powers, which are within us in absolute purest form. Why? What happens with us? The trouble is with our attention. When you became human beings, you were given full freedom to put your attention onto anything you wanted. Say if you want, you can put your attention onto any subject. Say, I receive a telephone call. So I put my attention to it. Now I can go on identifying with it, thinking about it, all my attention will be enveloped. And I will not pay attention to anything else that is happening. The attention is so mobile, it has no base, as if the whole thing like a jelly goes and gets attached to a thing. Today I received a letter from, say, Manila. And it's a funny letter to me, I must say. The lady writes to me that my problem comes from Mr. So-and-so. All right. What is your problem is that I have fallen in love with him. But he has fallen in love with another woman. He sends all the way to me this letter. And I am just very unhappy, mother. What am I to do? All my life is wasted. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm just lost. He's left me. That woman has played tricks and all those things, etc., etc. All right. So I just thought, look at this woman. Where is her attention? Is this the meaning of her life, to waste for any man who doesn't care for her? She has no self-esteem. Why doesn't she understand that God has not made her to waste her energy on these useless things? He has made her to enjoy life, to enjoy herself. Instead of knowing herself, why is she worried? Even if she marries such a wretched fellow who has run away with another woman, is he going to love her? Its rationality also can tell you that this attention that she's wasting, she's crying, weeping, she said, I'll get tuberculosis. She will. If you waste your attention on foolish, nonsensical things, what's going to happen? So, this is how we put our attention onto absolutely useless things. Sometimes down to very depraved things also. We may put our attention to anything that we think requires our attention. But do you have your self-esteem? If you have, then where should be your attention? It should be on yourself. Where is yourself now? It is God Almighty. Is a part of that great primordial being. Your attention should be on that. After realization, your attention should be in your heart, on your spirit, which is the part of God Almighty. If your attention is on your spirit, you will be amazed how your attention will act. You see, like a jelly which is attached to a point. It may little bit get disturbed, again it will settle down. Again it will get little bit disturbed, it will settle down. It will not hang on to any point and will not bother you. So to put all your senses properly, first of all, put your attention to your heart and to your spirit. Because that's your absolute point which you have discovered. But it doesn't happen with many people. The trouble is, when Kundalini rises, she gives two kinds of experiences. One is called as Shambhavi, another called as Shakti. Shambhavi is the feeling of the Shambhu, is the Shiva in the heart, means God Almighty. But the other is Shakti. Now with Western people it is the other. Because you know your problems. You have used your powers for all kinds of ramblings in your mental efforts. Everything will sit down, all right, let us discuss realization. What are you going to discuss? What are you going to discuss about realization? Did you get your realization by discussion? You have to meditate. You have to go within yourself, see your growth, work out within. You cannot talk about it, you cannot discuss it, you cannot argue about it, it is within. Because of these ramblings, we go up to the Shakti point, but Shambhush we do not reach. But in the East, where people are not that much intelligent, that well educated and sophisticated, I would say, simple people, it goes just there. And they just enjoy. If you show them any book written about Sahaja Yoga, for example, Gregor's book, they'll say, Mother, we don't want it to read, we don't understand this. They are just there, they are now there. What is there now? It's flowing through our body, everything we know, it's there. Why should we bother about these things and all the controversies and dogmas and what are the churches have told you and why they have failed and why this religion has failed? Who is bothered? So these problems come up because their attention has been on the spirit alone. Simple people have that capacity. So now, forgetting everything else, all your intelligence, all your books and education and all that you have had, forget it. And just put your attention to your heart, where lies the connection with God Almighty. If your attention is there, you will be surprised that your attention will be stabilized. Not only that it will be stabilized, but the source of joy is that. And you will start feeling that joy. In essences, even the primordial master's essence, which is called as Guru Tattva, is absolutely pure. Now, most of the Sahaja Yogis who are here are very great Sahaja Yogis, and I salute to them. But they must try to put their Guru Tattva all right. Means their manifestation of Guru Tattva will be always affected by their own ramblings. So they have to work very hard in the beginning to put it right. If you do not want to be of that level, it's all right, you can go ahead, it's all right. But if you really want to do it, then you must know that after realization you have to work hard. Before realization, I will work hard. Even after I have to work hard. What to do? You know that. I have been working very hard, even after realization. But if you want to cooperate and help yourself, then you have to put your attention in such a way that every problem comes in, you go to your heart, not to your brain. Any question comes in, go to your heart. There resides the blessings of God. And you will be surprised how it will be solved. That's why I said go into thoughtless awareness. That is the quality of heart, because heart doesn't think. You go to your heart means you put your attention to your spirit. Now, if you become a guru, for example, as a Sahaja Yogi also, supposing you are a guru of Sahaja, you are, most of you, because the Kundalini moves under your hands. You have so many powers, you can raise others' Kundalini, you can give realization to people, and you can find out the problems of other people. You have cured many people. I agree, you are great people, no doubt, great saints. But to go further, to perfect yourself, we have to understand certain points. That Guru Tattva itself can be manifested best if the Guru himself realizes the responsibility of being a Guru. For example, a Guru is still, say, smoking. He cannot become a Guru, even after realization. Because his disciple will also smoke. So Vishuddhi will never be alright. Supposing this Guru is so much worried about money matters. Say attention is still hanging on, because this is like a jelly, I said. Still certain ramblings are there in money matters. So his disciples will be also all the time worried about money matters. I have found this. There was a very good Sahaja Yogi who gave realization to at least 1,000 people. At least 1,000. And he was very fond of taking tobacco. I knew he used to take tobacco, but I never told him, you see. Whenever we walked from one center to another center, he would go back, and I knew he was taking that tobacco. I didn't say anything to him. I said, let us see now. But Sahaja Yoga is a wonderful thing. It's a great corrector. So one day, he came and told me. I said, if I tell him don't take tobacco, he'll say somebody must have told me, and there will be a big guesswork going on. Who has reported to mother? Why this has happened, that has happened. So I just kept quiet. One day he came and told me that, mother, I don't know what happens. When I sit before your photograph, my face starts becoming like a Hanuman. I feel it's becoming bigger, 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 and expanding like that. What is it? I said, really? Surprising. Now, must be some reason. Must you be doing something wrong? No, nothing like that. Vishuddhi. I said, this is Vishuddhi. You are going against the Virat, so he is showing you his style. He said, no, mother. I am doing nothing wrong. I am sure of it. Are you sure? I said, now I must confess to you, mother. I take this tobacco. I said, I knew that. Now try to give it up. He says, how? I said, it is very simple. If you just try this. Whenever you feel like smoking or taking the tobacco in, you look at your heart. You become thoughtless. After all habits are communicated to you through thought. If you just look at your heart, remember only this much. That watch your heart, watch your spirit. Or think of me. Or do whatever is Sahaja Yoga tells you. For 1 second even if you do it, you'll forget about it. And you got rid of it. Because you have to depend on that stability which is within you. Once you feel the stability, you just forget about it. Because you feel unstable, that's why you take to these things. But if you can feel your stability, then you say, go to hell, I don't care for all these things, why should I bother? I'm not going to enslave myself for these things. And he got rid of it. So one has to work it out. It's very important for all the Sahaja Yogis to do it. Now I've seen many Sahaja Yogis who came to me where I should say they didn't believe in any work. They were anti-culture people. For example, I'm just saying, they were anti-culture. So they never believed in working. They said, no, nothing doing, we are not going to work, we are not going to accumulate any money. All right. Then when they came to Sahaja Yoga, I said, in Sahaja Yoga you have to work. You cannot sit idle, you have to work. You have to be in the center, you have to work for yourself. No guru is going to earn any money in this. And so you have to work. Everybody has to work. So when they started working, some of them became so adheringly possessive of their jobs that they had no time for meditation. They had no time for thinking about. Then they became mad like that. Then it started reacting. And they came to me, they said, Mother, why is it happening? I said, I told you to work. But I didn't tell you that you become a workman. You are a Sahaja Yogi out and out. You have to work for your livelihood. Keep down that working speed. Now if somebody has to work for his livelihood, then he must think that you should be satisfied. There is no end to your working, is there? To your accumulating of money. And what people have got out of money. You knew this when you had given up all these nonsensical ideas about money. Then you knew this. Then suddenly why have you taken it up again? Anybody who is in Sahaja Yoga must know that you have to be temperate. That is the basis. That is the absolute fundamental thing of Sahaja Yoga. Nothing to be overdone in Sahaja Yoga. You have to be in absolutely temperance. For example, if I tell somebody you are very thin, you have to eat more and have little weight in you. So then he will eat like an elephant and live like an elephant. If I tell them you are very fat, a little bit you can reduce your habits of food, reduce yourself a little, then he will come out like a TB patient. I mean, I must tell you that going to extremes should be only possible when you are not attached to something. But now you are attached to your spirit. You are attached to your God. And how can you go to any extremes? If I tell them, all right, even doing meditation, that do meditation, then the whole night they will sit down for meditation. I never said so. I said you must look after your health, but get up in the morning, do your meditation, think about God. All the time you think about God as far as possible. But that doesn't mean the whole night you keep awake. You have to be temperate to begin with. Gradually, the wisdom will be so powerful and so enlightening that you yourself will see what is right, what is wrong, how far you are going. It is so much necessary because the fruits of Sahaja Yoga to me is that you should feel joyous. To me, it is that's all. That you should feel absolutely in the kingdom of heaven. That you should feel you are now absolutely secure. And nobody can disturb you. There is within you is all the power. There's nothing to look forward. For example, till this light is burned, it is shaking, it is doing all kinds of things. Once it is lighted, it gives light. It knows its responsibility. It gives light. In the same way, I want you to be absolutely contented within yourself so that you manifest that light outside, give light to others without any effort. It will emit. It will emit. Unless and until that happens, no use becoming a guru in Sahaja. And I have seen with people, there are some people who are very ardent, extremely ardent, and they feel very much about Sahaja. That they have found out the truth, that the whole world should get it, they should have it, and the whole world should manifest it, the whole world must be saved. But I must tell you, very frankly, the whole world is not going to be saved. Most of it will be. But how do you expect Hitler to be saved? We must accept that part. That the whole world is not going to be saved. When the flower becomes the fruit, a lot of it goes out of existence. That's the part of evolution. So there is no need to be frantic about it. But you have to face reality as it is And you have to solve the problem most radically, pragmatically, and not just to get frantic about it and get upset. As I had told you last time, that if there's a problem in the other room, better go see for yourself, face it and solve it. Sitting down here versus jumping, there's a problem in the other room. That's a typical way of escape of human beings is that they'll be jumping in this room or will be worried or will lie down in their easy chairs and say, oh, we are finished because there's a problem in the other room. So the best thing is to go in the other room, see for yourself what is the problem and face it like a human being and then solve it. That is the way you have to look at things. Once you start facing it yourself, the whole thing, you'll be amazed how powerful you are. Because you have not used your power so far. Any problem comes in, just face it yourself. Unless and until a ship is put to its test in the sea, how will you know how far it is seaworthy or not? In the same way, after Sahaja Yoga, you test yourself. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And you'll be amazed at your own powers. Actually, people have faith in Sahaja Yoga, no doubt. But they do not have faith in themselves. This is what I'm telling you, that you must have faith in yourself. You have got realization, no doubt. You are realized souls, no doubt. I say you are. Even if the king comes to me and says, I'm realized, I can tell on his face, no, you are not. But you are realized soul. And the whole divine power, the all-pervading power, all the powers of God, and all the angels of the world are looking after you because you are aware. You are the most important thing for the divine. The whole thing, all this is all a waste and nothing of no use to the divine. You are the people who are to be lifted up. So, must know that we have to have faith in ourselves. For doing anything, you must know that you must have faith in yourself so that you stand up to it. And every time you will be surprised, any waves comes up, you ride over it. Every wave comes up, you ride over it. But just feel what powers you have got. These powers are within you, already inherent. Say we'll take the question of now Guru Tattva, because today I am more on Guru Tattva. There was a boy, a Sikh boy who came to see me. He was a very good boy. He came to see me and he said that, Mother, we are all followers of Guru Nanak, but somehow I am not convinced about the way Sikhism is going on. And Kabira has said in our Granth Sahib that you should get your realization, and I haven't got it. Then how long are we to go on taking the name of God? And I was surprised at his alertness about things, that you have to have the experience of God. I said, all right, it's a very good idea. And he got his realization. He's a young boy, very young boy. But when he got it, just like Eureka, Eureka, he went to his people. He told all the Sikh people, what are you doing here? Come along. There is a way, what Nanaka has said. There is a way to get it. Why don't you get it, all of you? And he brought so many. And he used to speak. People said, Mother, we could not believe this boy could speak. They said he used to speak so well, and whatever he had heard, He said that they used to read Granth Sahib to him. When he said I was half asleep, I used to be tired. They would read 2.5 days continuously, I would be tired. But somehow all these things that they read, they came to me. And he would recite all these poems and everything, and he was telling about how Nanaka was saying about Sahaja Yoga. People were amazed at his things. And so many Sikh people came to me because of his own father, mother, everybody. This is what one has to do. If you really care for other people also, you have to go and tell them, this is not the way. Find the real. Find the real. Now the time has come for us to get something. We have been praying, we have been going to churches, we have been going to temples, we have been doing all this. Now why are we doing it? But they get so much used to it that you tell them now stop, you have done quite a lot, now you have your thing. They'll say no, we'll still do the same thing. It's a matter of habit. For a guru it is important to be higher than other people. If he is not, that cannot work out. You Sahajogis have to be people of higher outward manifestation. Inside you are. But outward manifestation has to be higher. You have to be humbler people, kinder people, sweeter people, loving people, compassionate, understanding that you were there where they are today, joyous people and cheerful people. Otherwise, nobody is going to believe what is happening in the Kundalini inside. Because whatever is happening, you cannot see that. It is important that it should be evident on your face, in your behavior, in everything. For that, you have to understand that you have to stabilize your attention at the lotus feet of God. This is called as Sharanagati, surrendering. By worshipping, by bhakti, by singing songs, by absolutely settling yourself at the lotus feet of God Almighty. That's the only way you are going to achieve it. After realization only you have the entry into the kingdom of God. Before that, whatever you try has no meaning. Muslims do all the namaz morning till evening, do not get anything. But we had some Muslims, you know that. Once he started, after realization, he said, every time I bend, I get vibrations. Every time I say Allah's name, I get vibration. It has happened with all of them. Because God exists. He is there. It's a fact. And the time has come for all of us to feel Him and know Him. By the way, I went to Russia. And the experiences of Russia, the whole thing I won't be able to tell you just now. But one thing I'll tell you about that. That when I went there, they said, we are also giving all freedom for people to worship. So I went to see a church that was there, a very famous church they have got, where there was one Segri gentleman who started the church and all that, of the Orthodox. Who is hearing there? Orthodox Christian church. And I was quite amazed because the chief man there was the bishop and all that. He came to see us and receive us. His Kundalini was absolutely frozen. And I was looking at all that, and very simple Russian people, men and women, were there and praying, and there was some lights they had put up and all that. So I also put up a light there. All the lights started shaking. Then my husband said, why did you put up a light when you did not believe in it? I said, I did not believe in that gentleman, but the light, I believe in it. And you see, I was amazed that this man was talking as if he was God. Actually, that's the way he was talking to me. And he said that our government has allowed us to follow this path and this and that. Now when I came out, one of the gentlemen who had invited us, he told us, what do you think about it, Mr. Srivastava? I said, I am not going to say anything about it, but what do you think about it? He said, don't you think these are all silly people? They are doing no work. There are 80 monks, they are black colored, they are black and white. The white are supposed to work and the black do not work. And these people do no work, they are parasites, they are sitting here, they are doing no work, and these poor Russians who are there, Russians are not that poor as we think them to be. They save their pocket money and give it to this institution to be run, and these 80 persons are saying that we are praying, we are doing this, and they are just doing no work and sitting there. We have allowed that. But do you think there is God in this place? No, I said, God is everywhere. I said, you really believe in God? I said, now this is the mistake you have committed. If somebody misuses the name of God, if he misuses the Bible or Christ, or if he misuses any temple or church In India also, all these Brahmins are thugs of the first what? Absolute thugs. Do you know what are these they are doing these days? Because now people have found them out. They are selling ganja. All of these people are thugs, and most of these people who are preaching about religion have come to politics now. There's a big politics going on, you see. Among Hindus, there's a big fight. Among Sikhs, there's a big fight. Among Muslims, there's a big fight. Among themselves, I'm telling you, on political basis. How can God be political? And naturally, I think by seeing all this, you see, even in London, though, I must say, even in London where we believe in God, I was surprised that only 26% people believe in God in this country. Out of which they said about 16% are people from outside and 10% are only Britishers who believe in God. Imagine, this is the condition. So you have become atheist. And they are selling churches. And people are buying churches and making them into discotheques. Even in the church now, I was told in front of our church, they are going to put a discotheque there. So I asked, I said, why? Because they want to attract people. Miss, there is nothing living in that religion. There's nothing to offer. Nothing wrong with God or Christ or any one of these essences which are pure. Absolutely pure. But mistake comes with the people who are supposed to be following that religion, supposed to be ruining that religion. And then when people see that, this is the reaction that there is no God. This is the greatest foolishness and stupidity, where I say that people have not used their brains to understand that anything can be misused and misguided. But why not keep yourself open to see if there is God or not? And there is. It's a fact. It's the only truth. He is the only truth. The rest is all illusion. One has to understand that this is so. In His name, those who earn money are firstly stupid and secondly cunning. Both ways. Stupid because they don't know that this money they are not going to carry with them. And they will be punished for that. And cunning from worldly ways. They think they have been very clever to go to hell faster. That's what they have been doing. So all such people should not misguide you this way or that way. For example, they should not misguide you to say that there is no God, because these horrible people are talking of God, they are telling about God, and how can there be God? If these people are the followers of God, then there cannot be God. This is one way of looking at it. Another way is to blindly follow these horrible people and not to see that they are horrible. How can they be godly? To confuse both these things, I think, is not wise. But to see that there is God and that you are the one who must get the experience of God. And you have to aspire for it and ask for it, for which He is working out Himself. He is anxious to do it much more than you are. A little cooperation, little hand, just to be put into His hand, who is standing in the boat to pull you out. Just a little cooperation and little patience with yourself and faith in yourself that God has created you in His image so that you may receive His complete blessings in His compassion and is His love. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Now, for the people who have come for the first time, I would request them to come in the first or the second line so we can look after them. And the rest of you, please put your attention to your heart. That's all right, you sit down. Those who have come can come further on. How are you, David?
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
What did it say?
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
I am also very happy.
Mother, when you say put your attention on the heart, you mean the heart chakra?
You cannot feel heart. You cannot know heart chakra, nothing. When I say that, just say that I am putting my attention to my spirit. That's all. You are saying is a mantra itself. You know now you are a realized soul. You are an enlightened person. Your desire is enlightened. And if you just say that my attention is on my spirit, in my heart, in the organ of heart. You see, now whatever you say has a meaning. Do you understand? Whatever you say is enlightened now. There's a light in it. Only thing is, if your attention is not all right still, then the light is still dim. You feel in the dim light to see half things, but you do see. But if it is a bright light, you can see it very clearly. So to brighten up the light, you just say that let me be in my heart. It works out. Settles down, you see. As if you ordered your attention to be there. It just goes like a sweet little baby, you see, sits down there. All right, mother, whatever you say. Just say like that. Just try to feel your powers. What you say, how it works out. Even when you say mantras, these mantras also enlighten.